The untouchable Tru School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and we are live once again here on YouTube. And it's 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so I'm really excited. Today we got a great show on tap for you guys today. Yesterday we had Rick Glazer on, Boxing Insider. Today we got the parents of Cassius Clay Collard. One of the hottest stories in boxing right now. He's really making waves. Hold on a second. Let me take this banner off. Let me take that banner off. Clay Collard is really making some waves right now, and he's really having a hell of a year. You know, as many of us know, thus far this year he's 4-0, with two knockouts. He's beaten 3 undefeated prospects with a combined record of all of his 4 opponents, 25-3 with 17 KOs. So he's really doing great things. He's been a breath of fresh air in boxing. He's fighting seemingly every month, you know, across all kinds of weight classes. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to learn about Clay from his parents, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy it too, because there's a lot of things we don't know about Clay Collard. So I'm looking forward to that. But if you guys are here, for the 4 of you that are here right now, drop your comments down below. If you got any questions, get them in early, because I'm sure it will heat up as we do progress here on Tru School Sports. Pops, you got anything you want to say before we bring in Clay Collard's parents?
Yeah, man. Welcome all you guys to the channel. It's gonna be another interesting interview, and I'm looking forward to it because I'm a big fan of the American Dream, Clay Collard, and I want to see
what you call him.
Yeah, that's what I call him, American Dream. I gave him that name, and I'm looking forward to him.
Okay. Well, there you go. So you know what? We won't even waste any time. We're not even gonna waste any time. There's really not much to talk about. Let's just get into it. Let's bring in the parents of Clay, Chris and Marilyn. Let's see. Let's get them in here. What's up, guys?
Hey, can you hear us okay, buddy?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, good. Awesome. Yeah, we're here, man. We're excited to do this. It's fun.
Okay. Yeah, you're a bit delayed. Like I hear you guys talk with like your mouths move first, and then the sound comes like a little bit later. I don't know if that's on my end, or I don't know if that's an issue on my end, or
we got just a little bit of that here, but we'll work with it, buddy. We can hear you fine. So.
Oh no, we'll have to slow me down. Oh no.
Okay. You're gonna have to talk and breathe and be patient, Marilyn.
I'll try.
But it's definitely great to have you guys on here. It was Chris who got in touch with me on Facebook, and I guess you guys have come across some of my videos I made about your son. You want to tell people about that? How you guys came across Tru School Sports?
Well, we love reading anything about him. You know, the more the better. And lately it's been some good stuff. We've been excited about it. But we just found your comments to be pretty similar to ours. I'm a big fight fan, MMA and boxing. Even WWF back in the day when I was a kid growing up. I was a crazy girl that liked all that stuff, you know. And so to see boxing matches as a kid and growing up, you'd find those few good ones. I remember being on my grandpa's lap for, Roberto Duran and Boom Boom Mancini, Sugar Ray Leonard. And so I grew up watching those good fights like that. And then had it come across, the days of Mike Tyson, people pay all that money for the pay-per-view and get the knockout really fast. And so I love a good, exciting boxing match. And I love that you recognize that Clay's putting on a good show. He loves being a showman. He really does. And that's half the battle. Win or lose, if you made the fans enjoy themselves, you earned your money. You did what you're supposed to do. And he's done that through MMA, boxing, whatever he does. He goes all out and wants to put on a show and make it exciting. And we need more of that in our boxing and MMA.
Yeah, I actually run across you, being a former promoter myself and a coach and manager and you name it. I've done it. I always like to go and look at the comments afterwards. I especially like to go on YouTube, and that's where I discovered you at. And I really like the things you said. You're very intelligent when it comes to boxing. You understand the sport very well, and
sweet science.
Let's face it, you've been really, really kind to Clay, and if we can repay you in any way, and let people get to know Clay a little bit, it's all good. So
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys greatly. Thank you for reaching out to me.
Hey, just before we get too deep into this, I'd like to, let our thoughts and prayers go out to all those families that have been affected by the COVID-19 and the people that's been lost out there. And especially, with the protests and the riots, I know we've had some negative issues out there. And,
Yeah.
Our thoughts and prayers go out, and I'm sure yours do too. And, we can get that out of the way and, talk about some boxing. So.
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, the thoughts and prayers go out to everybody that's going through something right now in the world. But just to get into it, I think we'll start from the beginning. We'll take it back to the beginning. What was Clay's upbringing like? Where was he from? What was his childhood like?
So he's he's the second boy of I gave birth to 4.
Okay.
And then they have another brother that we adopted. He's kind of family entwined, and we just kind of took him and kept him forever. So he grew up with 5 brothers, and I had 4 little brothers. I'm the oldest, and I just know that the busier you keep kids, the less trouble they get in,
especially boys.
Yeah. And so we always supported. We didn't ever force them to do anything they wanted to do. We always wanted to support, but you've got to have passions. You got to have things that you love to do, and it helps when you're good at it, just for some reason. And so when he was 6 years old, he run up to me and said, Mom, I just got back from wrestling practice with my next door neighbor, Seth, and we played a takedown game, and I took everybody down, and I won. And the coach says that I have to be on the team. You have to sign me up. So the very next day, he had his singlet and his wrestling shoes, and at 6 years old, he started kicking ass and taking names right about then. And that was his choice, his thing, and so as they got a little older, they was really excelling at wrestling. He was doing really well. But my dad had been kind of out of my life for a while and didn't really know my boys. And I'm his only biological child. He broke his back on a motorcycle a month before I was born. So I never got to see my dad walk. And he was really athletic and into that stuff. And my uncle played football and broke all kinds of Arizona State records and stuff. And so we come from a real athletic family. And when my dad came up here, he kind of wanted something special that he could do with him and do for him. And it just was meant to be universal guidance and all that. He come across an ad in the paper about somebody trying to open up a gym. And it was an old paper.
Okay.
And so he got a hold of the guy and he's like, oh, that was a while ago and things and that. But my dad ended up talking him into it. He says, listen, I've got 4 boys that I'll bring every day, pay their dues every month. Let's see what we can do. And we ended up opening up the Elks Lodge boxing gym in Price, Utah.
Okay.
It's a little tiny town about an hour and a half outside of Provo, Salt Lake. So we're not even in the city. We're down south. And we opened up this gym. And just by pure luck, we happened to get an amazing, amazing boxing coach and really good competitors. And MJ. And so we had some really good boys on our team too. Just luck again. They had come from.
We had a lot of talent.
In that little tiny town, and some great coaches. Very good too. And then great boxing. I think Clay fought Michael Gomez 10 times up Salt Lake.
Yeah, so I mean,
we always fought up bigger guys and older guys. Always.
Yeah, the boys had to travel 30 miles one way, so 60 mile round trip, and they did that 4 or 5 days a week, and then for us to box, we would have to travel 2 or 3 hours away
all the time.
Just to get close to Salt Lake or Provo or St. George or some thriving metropolis other than the thriving metropolis of Castledale, Utah.
And we ended up getting really good really fast. We have my youngest son is a junior Golden Gloves national champ.
Okay.
He won in Nevada.
What's his name?
Chad Collard.
Chad Collard. Okay. Shout Chad Collard.
He's been called out.
Chad Kesley.
And he's gone down now. Our region
he took second at junior Golden Gloves, and then he ended up taking 3rd or 4th.
We went up to region a couple times in
Silver Gloves Nationals.
California.
Yeah. He lost at Silver Gloves Nationals to the champion
in Independence,
Missouri.
Missouri.
The semifinals. Yeah.
So we started boxing and we got really good. And it's funny because Clay was always like the brawler and just the tough kid. He's just going to go out there and just be tough. And Kesley and Chad could actually box. Oh, sorry, Clay.
I I mean, let's talk about Clay's boxing a little bit here, because he was always a dirty boxer. He was always more of a brawler than a boxer.
Just push him up in the corner and go to town.
Yeah, that's why MMA was kind of his gig, you know. And he was a strong wrestler. His first 5 fights in MMA, he went 5-0 with 5 KOs.
You can't take him down. And you can't strike with him, but you can't beat him.
He was carrying himself on his boxing abilities and his wrestling abilities. Nobody could take him down, and nobody could really stand and bang.
But that's all he had.
That's all
he was a real rugged guy. It sounds like
real rugged guy, just pure guts and that man versus man competition. He loves a good competition, and he's the first one to say, "I can't put on a good boxing match or MMA match without a good opponent." You don't make the good match, you don't get the good fight.
Right.
So he loves his good opponents and has a lot of respect for them.
I mean, but you got to understand, the whole time we were boxing year round, we were also wrestling year round.
We have national wrestling champs too.
We also did football and basketball as well. I coached Little League football and basketball for about 10 years, and they all did that as well. So
we kept them so dang busy they couldn't get in any trouble.
We kept them really, really busy.
I'm sure they slept pretty well.
They did, you know, and just a word to the wise for parents that are thinking about getting their kids into boxing. Before their first boxing match, you may want to go talk to the teachers and the principal of the school, because we went to our first boxing match and they come back all beat up. We actually got called into the school because they thought we were abusing our kids, right? And they all told we were in a boxing match, and they didn't believe us, you know, from that little small town.
Most of their bruises and ours are from each other, though. Come on.
It's
more death than that.
How many amateur fights did Clay actually have?
I'm thinking probably right around 100. Okay. Not a whole lot more. Right around 100.
Boxing, my best guess is in between 80 and 90. We lost track after a while. You know what I mean?
We lost their book, and then
you lose their books, and they, you know, after the years you kind of lose it. But yeah, he had a lot, and he fought a lot of tough guys. You know? He was fighting region champs, you know, from USA Boxing, you know, Golden Gloves, Silver Gloves. He was state champ. Silver gloves, golden gloves, junior golden gloves,
police
JOs, police athletics, you know, you name it.
And he did win Clay did win a police athletics league tournament.
Yeah, he did. And so, yeah, he was always more of a brawler than a boxer, but it's exciting to see him boxing, you know.
Yeah.
It is.
And I love the sport that you can't blame on your teammate, or he missed the pass, or he missed that end of the field goal. No, you get out there and you're giving it your all. How hard did you train? How hard are you working? And how smart were you during the match? And that I've always just, luckily we grew up at a time when there was no draft and nobody had to go to war, but my parents had friends that went off to Vietnam and didn't come back and things like that. And I read a little article about kids that got drafted or kids that had to go to war. The kids that had done competitive sports kind of held their own under pressure and did a little better under pressure. And so I always wanted to know, I always wanted to give my advantage to my sons if they were ever in a situation where they had to think under pressure, maybe being a police officer or you know, those types of things where that adrenaline gets going. I want them to be able to have that, you know, have done that a long time. Have
presence of mind,
right? To focus when when the crap's hitting the fan. And so I just think that's a great thing to teach kids, and something that a lot of parents really don't think of. Oh, I don't want my kids to hit. I don't want my kids to do that thing. I mean, life's tough, you know, and you never know what it's going to bring. Who'd have ever thought
we'd be sitting where we are right now? You know?
I'd never, with coronavirus and stuff, who knows? And so
you never know what life's going to take you.
It was something we could do, and I knew that it's not going to hurt them, and I knew that the tougher you are, the less bully you really are. You know, they knew they could handle themselves. They knew they weren't really going to get picked on. And so they kind of looked out for little guys. And I appreciated that as well. I always told him, hey.
I mean, you really get to know Clay, and his heart's, I mean, it's huge. It's this big, you know what I mean? And
always take care of his friends and helping out too much.
He gets taken advantage of sometimes, but I mean, you step in the ring with him and he's all business, you know what I mean?
I can see that.
But then there's so many fighters like Jordan Clements and even Justin Buckles and things like that they'll talk smack and they'll be so funny, kind of like even Muhammad Ali used to always do that. I love those being a kid and just hearing him talk about those trying to fight.
We're getting off subject.
Anyway,
yeah. You're getting a bit off subject, but what I wanted to ask, what I wanted to ask also was like I guess you kind of answered my question, but like what's Clay like as a person? I'm sure I'll talk to him at some point, but what's he actually like because he hasn't really done a whole lot of interviews from what I could see.
He's such a big kid.
He's a big old kid, and you can see that by his tattoos. He just got a new one of Raiden from Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and you see the
they got that from Dad. Dad played video games with him.
Oh yeah, I'm just a big kid myself, but yeah, he's just a big kid. He loves to have fun.
Boating,
he loves to
jet
joke,
skiing, snowboarding.
He loves to hike. I mean, he's an outdoorsy kind of kid growing up in the country, but
he is. He's really easygoing and he makes friends really easy, and even with his competitors and stuff, he'll let me be best friends with him after the fight. He want to make him.
The last couple of years, I mean, he's been pretty focused. I mean, he's decided what he wants, and he's gonna go get it. And he's gonna go take it from whoever's holding it at the time. And you've seen that.
Yeah.
And and props to his coach, because Clay is a really, really big personality, and I say that in a good way.
He's a handful.
But big personalities, if they're not focused in the right direction, they can make big messes too.
What's his coach's name?
His coach is Ryan Alt.
Brian Alt. Shout out to Brian Alt.
Yeah.
And they just came together at the right moment in time, the right connection, the right click, and it's worked. He's really turned Clay into a man. But Clay is also a late bloomer. He comes from a long line of late bloomers. He still doesn't have any facial hair. And so I knew it would take this long for him to really come into his man brain and muscles. It's the brain that has to mature more.
He's got some maturity the last couple of years that he didn't have before, and it's good to see that. So.
And seeing him using those man muscles and fighting like a man is cool.
Absolutely.
He's not a kid anymore.
So it must be quite the incredible thing to watch, because I'm not related to Clay, obviously. I just found out who he was like a couple months ago, and it's been amazing for me to watch. So I can only imagine what it's been like for you guys to watch him. What's it been like for you guys?
Well, it's been rough. It's been
I've been at so many boxing matches and so many MMA matches. I've cornered boxing matches. I've cornered MMA matches. I've cornered them wrestling. You know what I mean? And I still get nervous. Really, really nervous right before any of my boys fight or wrestle. It never goes away. It's exciting. It's a rush. You get the butterflies, and it's even better when he's knocking people out. When kids are excelling, as a parent, that's pretty awesome.
And we were good for Clay when he was really young, and we was kind of having fun together and learning together. But he outgrew us pretty quick.
Yeah, he outgrew us. And that's another thing, Clay bounced around to a lot of different gyms, in his late teens and early 20s. But, the reason he did that is he became the best guy in the gym, and once you're the best guy in the gym, it's time for you to go somewhere else and find somebody better than you.
Yeah, he had to find a new challenge.
We always encouraged our boys to find somebody better than you and spar with them, because, they will make you better. Beating somebody up that's not better than you does not improve your game at all. If anything, it makes you sloppy and lazy. You know what I mean?
So yeah, he's been around, but he's learned so much from everywhere he's gone, and it's just been the right path, and we're hoping he can do something special with this, and bringing his brothers up behind him. I want to focus on Clay, and Clay is the stuff, and I'm so proud of him. But his brother has just come out to train with him with his coach too, and I'm so proud of him for living his dream. Go Kesley! And this all started.
It takes a commitment, especially when you ain't got your parents backing you. Like we have so many years.
We step back and let them be men.
To really make that commitment. Say, this is what I want. This is not what anybody else wants. This is what I want, and go chase that dream. It's pretty awesome.
100%. So like has the year he's been having so far in 2020, has it surprised you guys at all? Like him beating all these undefeated guys when he was against all odds and
well, we actually went and seen him fight in Cincinnati, and it was one of those undefeated prospects, and it was pretty
Sean Toller, right?
Oh, rough crowd.
It was a pretty rough crowd, and we had people behind us like
He was my best friend talking to me the whole
messing
time.
with the coach, and like security had to come in and like block the people because I mean Clay went in there and put on a school like he's been doing with just about everybody in the ring in the last year, and I seen so much improvement. You know, I was like, wow, where did this come from? And so
I knew it was all.
It hasn't surprised us what he's done in the ring, during all this COVID stuff, and with everything that's going on is like that's really, really the amazing part, that he's done this in spite of everything else that's going on.
We had bought plane tickets for my son to come out because we were going to go together to Atlantic City, Jersey City, and do the PFL tournament for $1 million. We had this all planned out, and all of a sudden, and then here comes his boxing. Heck yeah!
I mean, he got knocked in the dirt and then picked himself right back up and says, "Oh yeah, look at this! Watch
so guys,
this."
he's basically been sparring you boxers for his MMA tournament. He needed some sparring partners. That's what he's been doing.
He is still
win or lose, he don't care, and that's when you don't let them lose. That's when you're dangerous and scary.
Yeah, right now he is still under the contract with the PFL for next year's season. You know what I mean?
But we're fighting in August.
Yeah, they're not letting him do any MMA, but they are allowing him to box. Yay!
August 22nd.
Yay for everybody.
That's what I heard. Is there a date for his next fight?
I think August 22nd.
August 22nd. I don't know if ESPN's announced it, but the ink's signed, so I think we're okay there.
I hope we didn't get in trouble. Should be fighting in August.
All right. Well,
sometime.
Yeah. All started out with him. He came out here to Pittsburgh. See, we ran away from home. We were 1,700 miles away from our kids. We said, cut the apron strings and said, "See ya."
Yeah,
you guys just broke some news on the channel. You guys just broke some news, man. Clay calls next fight.
Yeah,
22nd.
Yeah, we're excited. But it all started. He came out here and fought in Pittsburgh, right here at the Meadows, not 10 minutes away from where we live, and wasn't supposed to win there either.
Took that guy to school. We were wondering if we were going to get out of there after that fight. They wouldn't even let him talk after he won because he. Yeah. Like usually, after you win, you get to like take the mic and say a few words, and they're just like, no, just take your W and get out of the building.
So they're trying to hook Kez up. If we can get another fight up here at this Meadows with Kesley, that'll be his first fight. He can start his boxing career with Clay did in Pittsburgh and kicking butt.
Yeah, that'd be the way to go. You know what's crazy? What's crazy about Clay is I noticed this, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like some fighters in boxing are starting to call him out. Like he's actually beginning to get called out by fighters in boxing. I don't know if you've seen that.
It's
you guys, there you are. Yeah, you're back.
Well, you know Clay, he will fight anybody, any day, anywhere.
But it's time for a payday.
You know what I mean?
Fork up the money, people. For
yeah, if anybody calls Clay out, they better be careful because he will show up. You know?
Yeah.
and he's hard. He's hard to put away. He's tough. He got that from me. You're welcome, Clay.
Yeah, because there's I don't know if you guys are familiar with the fighter named Lorenzo Simpson. Lorenzo Truck Simpson, that's his name.
Haven't heard. So
let him talk.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Lorenzo Truck Simpson. I think he's a 54 pounder or 6. I'm not sure if he's 54 or 60, but he was a blue chip amateur. Like I think he was like 185 and like 13 in the amateurs, and he's had about maybe 7 or 8 professional fights. And he tweeted recently on Twitter. He said, let me fight Clay Cardle and see if that prospect killer stuff is real. Like he wants to be the next guy to try his luck.
He ought to go watch a few of them fights. You know what I mean? And he'll know Clay's for real. But yeah, Clay will fight anybody. You know what I mean? But
it's just time for the payday.
Yeah, I mean he's to the point now. He needs a payday, and I think he's starting to get it a little bit. But yeah, Clay will take on anybody. I've always.
Well, he's always telling me how he wants to take on Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
so there you go.
He thinks he could beat Conor McGregor in a boxing match right now, but I don't know. It might be a good fight. You know.
Well, I was joking around with somebody, and I said that Floyd Mayweather's talking about doing these exhibitions. Maybe he might want to give Clay Cardle a call.
For the right price, he'd do it. And no matter what, he'll put on a show. And no matter what, he's never easy to beat, especially in the boxing ring.
Clay never walked away from a fight,
unless they're way bigger than him.
Even when he's getting beat, he doesn't walk away.
Yeah.
So.
I just found out yesterday. I did an interview with somebody yesterday who's like in the boxing industry, and he told me that when Clay Collard was getting ready to fight Bektier Melikuziev, he took the fight on like 1 day's notice.
Okay, say that again.
I was saying I was talking to someone yesterday that works in the boxing industry, and he told me that Clay took the Bektier Melikuziev fight on a 1 day notice.
He's done that many times.
Yeah, but
he was heavy too, wasn't that?
Yeah.
Like 175. Yeah, that guy was way too big for Clay.
I don't want him fighting over 160.
Yeah, as soon as he got in the ring, he knew it was a mistake. But yeah,
the weight. He'll fight anybody, but the weight matters.
But like I say, yeah, I mean, he took that 1 day's notice and walked into the ring with him. He took his UFC debut against Max Holloway on a week's notice.
Yeah.
You know, and he. He
ran out of gas. It wasn't like a knockout or anything. He ran out of gas and got took down in the third round. But it was a good fight. And even Max Holloway said Dana White robbed him of fight of the night.
Yeah, he has always done that. He actually fought for Jeremy Horn. David Castillo
saved that show. We saved the show.
David Castillo was Jeremy Horn's #1 guy at his gym, and he had a fight set up, and his guy backed out literally 5 days before the show.
Clay stepped up.
We were actually under contract with another fight, an open compete for 30 days. So I actually had to call the other promoter and say, you know what, this is a good opportunity for Clay. It's a good test. You know what I mean? And it was short notice. And, it turned out being a great fight. We ended up, developing a really good relationship with Jeremy Horn and Jennifer Howe there in Salt Lake City. And if you know Jeremy Horn, if you know MMA at all, you probably recognize that name a little bit. So
I don't know anything about MMA.
Well,
he was a big guy in the very beginning of the, in the 90s.
He's a lot like the big name boxers, but and we used to fight with the Fulmer brothers. Had a club up there in Salt Lake. Gene and his brothers. We used to hang with Gene quite often. That's a neat guy.
Yeah, Gene Fulmer, the great Gene Fulmer.
Yeah, he passed away here a few years ago, but go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, for people who have never been to Salt Lake City, Utah. What's like? Could you describe it best as you can? Like, what's the boxing scene like over there?
It does have a pretty good boxing scene. USA Boxing used to have a pretty good club there. You mainly had the Montoyas, the Gomez's, the Fulmers in the Salt Lake Valley, and then you had a few clubs up in Ogden and like 1 or 2 down in Provo. But I mean, in the whole state of Utah, you maybe had
a handful,
half dozen clubs. So we would have to go up into Idaho, which is where Clay's at now, and Wyoming, Nevada, Arizona.
Yeah, Lava Hot Springs, where's that?
Yeah, that's Wyoming, Idaho. But we got to where the boys had such a reputation.
We couldn't fight anywhere.
We'd have to go 3 or 4 states away to get a fight because nobody would get in the ring with us anymore. It got kind of difficult there for a while, and it got pretty expensive because we were having to make major trips just to get one match for 3 of our fighters. And so
when you get so good in a small community, when you've already boxed all the people in the community, and there's no one else to box. So it's hard being in a small town. It's really hard getting famous if you're from a small town. Super, super hard.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not near as many opportunities.
Yeah, but we did pretty good. Like
I always say that the cream will always rise to the top. So it doesn't matter where you come from. If you're good and you put the work in, you're gonna get to where you got to be.
Great people think a lot.
Well, you got to have a little natural talent there too, but a lot of it's determination, work, and having the coaches and the people there to support you along the way. And it's a lifelong commitment. You just can't do it overnight. You know what I mean? And you gotta dedicate yourself and put in the work, plain and simple.
And they learn the skills and they learn the stuff.
You guys,
It's just like riding a bike.
Yeah, you learn that stuff as a kid. You're gonna have it forever. Now that he's mature and kind of got the brain working and thinking about stuff before he does it, and he's got the man muscles there. Now the skills are, and he's got the right coach as well, Ryan. Thank you.
Yeah, the
So
combination.
it's the perfect storm. He learned how to box. He got from a great coach. Thank you, Mark. And he knows what he's doing. The one thing to teach it to him, another thing to make him do it. It's really hard to make him
especially on TV. Especially on TV.
Right.
Under the lights.
It's just that.
Well, and I mean, Clay was always a fighter that really, excelled off the crowd. You know, when the crowd was behind him and he was having fun, it was always his show, you know. But this is kind of a whole new gig, this bubble fighting and not having anybody around the ring. And, it's kind of like the old smokers we used to do back in the day when you had 20, 30, just all the parents show up.
The parents all had to pay $20.
Yeah, you guys are cutting in and out at the moment. Hello?
I think those things have come together for Clay. And I think it's time to strike while the iron's hot and do some good stuff.
Absolutely.
And win some big matches, make some big money, and get your brother doing the same.
How far do you guys think? I mean, I know you're biased because you're his parents too, but how far do you think Clay could go realistically in the sport of boxing?
I think he could go probably as far as he wants, but I mean, let's face it, his heart is in MMA.
Yeah,
and he does have that 1-year commitment. However, with that being said,
I love boxing.
The success he's had with boxing, he may come back to it, but he's got to go fulfill his commitment first, and it's going to be interesting to watch him go into the PFL with this newfound striking ability he has and mix that with the rest of his game,
When is he supposed to go to the PFL? Do you know?
They postponed the whole season, so he should fight sometime next May
of 2021.
May of 2021.
But no matter
tentatively,
right,
depending on what happens with this whole deal,
But no matter what, it's all about the right matchup at the right weight. You find the right weight and the right matchup. Anybody can win. That's how it happens in state wrestling tournament and everything. You got to have that. You got to be able to make that weight without it being too tough. And you got to be able to, and just have that good matchup. And and it's all about the matchup. It's, this guy can beat this guy over and over again. And then this guy can beat the other guy, but these two guys can't, this guy can't beat that guy.
That's the great thing about combat sports and the way people match up. It's interesting.
Yeah.
They're great sports. They really are.
Yeah, you said PFL is next May because it got postponed for a year. He might be like in a completely different position at this time next year with the way things are going.
Well, I mean, he was kind of highly favored, at his weight class going into this season of the PFL, and then the whole thing got postponed. So it's going to be
story of Clay's life, story of his life.
But yeah, I mean. Yeah, that was a big blow to him having all that postponed, but he turned that
into a positive.
Into a positive, and look what he's done in the boxing world, which is just really amazing, making that crossover so quickly.
He's training kids in Idaho at the gym now. His brother.
Yeah,
it's really exciting.
They've actually put together a whole gym there in Burley, and they're actually moving into a new bigger building.
They outgrew their building. They've only been in a few months.
They've outgrew their small building in 2 months during the coronavirus and had to expand.
Right.
I mean,
not very many businesses can say that.
Not many businesses could say that.
They can't.
So we're so glad they're. I want them to get up and go to work, do something they love every day. I don't want them to get up and go punch a clock, and that's why I got paid diddly squat my whole life, because I love teaching kids to swim, and I want my kids doing the same, doing what they're good at and what they love.
He's really got noticed nationally out there, and he's got some pretty interesting phone calls,
and he's got a bullseye on his back. He's got the bullseye on his back.
He does. No, he does. He does have the bullseye on his back.
He's got a lot of opportunities,
and
we hope he can keep just making that sweet magic.
Sweet science. Well, science in that. Look it up.
I gotta say, as somebody who I deeply follow the sport of boxing, like he's definitely been a breath of fresh air. He has.
We're glad. He is.
He's always fun to watch, man. Always fun to watch.
He's one of those guys that
he's a fun kid.
He's one of those guys that when I look at the fight card, if I see his name on there, I'm like, oh snap, I gotta watch this card.
Yeah, even if you watch the whole card, just watch Clay.
Yeah.
Somebody made a comment about the llast show that Collard saved the show, the last one.
I think that
was that him?
That was Brandon.
Good. It was true. It was speaking the truth. Speaking the truth.
Yeah, no, because it was the first time I saw Clay fight was against Raymond Guajardo, and that was
that show had a couple other good fights.
That was a good fight.
That was a great fight.
That was exciting. Yeah. That was exciting fight.
I remember that whole card because I watched the whole entire card. It was a very lackluster card, and Clay was in the swing bout. So you normally in the swing bouts in boxing, it's just like two whatever fighters. So I'm sitting there watching it. I'm not expecting much, and then he does that. I'm like, who is this guy? And then they say he's an MMA fighter and he's from Idaho. I'm like I don't know who this guy is, but I sure like him.
You know where he's from.
And I was really excited for that Ed Guajardo fight because I knew that would be a really, really good test for Clay. You know? I mean, Guajardo's legit. He's a real deal.
And he's fast. That's one of Clay's.
And
if Clay's faster than you're in trouble.
It was right after the Cincinnati fight. And literally, it was within about a month, and
he looked even better.
What he did in there that night, I was like, wow. I mean, I was really impressed. And it takes a lot to impress me boxing in the ring, especially Clay. We're
terrible. Oh, we're the worst. We never sugarcoat it. We won't. Oh, we're bad. Yeah, both of us. We don't. Well, you should have done this. You should. Yeah. I'm the first one telling him, be smart and keep his hands up.
What's what's the most outrageous thing you've ever said to Clay at one of his fights or at an amateur tournament? Is there anything that stands out in your mind?
Oh, you gonna stand there and bleed, or you gonna do something about it? I've said that numerous times. Wrestling matches, boxing matches, you name it. Yeah, that's
his first loss in MMA. And I says, don't let him take you down. If you don't let him take you down, you win. Don't let him take you down. He took him down. That's all he did was take him down, lay on him. And I said, why did you let him take you down? But the worst thing I ever said was right after, and I apologize, right after state, he had a really phenomenal senior year. And we went to region, and he was favored, highly favored, and he made his mistake and lost to a kid that he'd beat all year from Bridgefield. And he comes walking up. And he's got his head down, and I looked at him. I said, "You blew it!"
That's messed up.
That wasn't even mean. It was the truth. He blew it. Yeah. Oh, he come unglued. I was the worst thing ever.
This is coming from the woman that got escorted out of the region match 2 weeks earlier.
2 years
security.
Yeah.
They missed his tick. He escaped. They didn't give him the point. They were going to hear about it.
Yeah, Marilyn's a straight gangster. She just gangster with it. She doesn't care.
She walked right out on the mat during a region wrestling match.
No one ever gave him the escape point. The ref awarded the point, escape. No one ever gave the point. It never gave the point. Still to this day, he never got that point.
Now, we've had a lot of fun along the way chasing our boys around the country, kicking ass and taking names.
We have, and we hope to see more. And I'm telling you, if you get to see Kesley, you'll say, "Oh, now I know what you said about he's the real boss." Boy's got the sweet science.
I filed the thing away in my head. I got it filed away in my head.
Oh, long and skinny. Well, he was. So I saw a picture of him. He moved. You can't hit him. He'll tap, tap, tap. Be gone. Bap, bap, bap. Be gone. Like just in and out. Don't see him coming.
He ain't been in the ring or cage for a couple of years. So,
I don't care. He'll still get it. He'll still do it.
Chris, you mentioned earlier you used to do promoting of some sorts, like small time promoting.
Yeah, when Clay was coming up right out of high school, he actually did his first amateur MMA match a week after he turned 18. He knocked that guy out in 12 seconds.
Yeah.
And then he did his first professional MMA match
against my wishes.
Yeah, no, this was the next one. A week later, he knocked that guy out halfway through the first round.
Moab
actually fought a week later after that, his second pro fight. I set that one up while she was sleeping in the car.
The look on everyone's face was my poor little redheaded son's going to get killed today.
Yeah, we'd actually went to a wrestling match because his two younger brothers were wrestling in junior high or high school.
Yeah.
Junior high state, yeah. So we went to a wrestling match that day, and there was actually a fight set up that night. We'd had a fight set up, and the guy backed out. But we threw this thing together like in the afternoon. I hardly even believe the commission approved it because we threw it together so fast.
So the whole city of Myrtle fell in love with him.
And that guy's name was Kaifa de Tolis. Big old African-American gentleman. Great guy. We ended up being really good friends with him afterwards. And he was like almost 38. He had to get an EKG to fight. And Clay was literally
this is young little
just
kid,
barely 18.
And it looked like such a mismatch. But Clay went out there and did his thing and kicked butt. And I remember everyone's like, wow. It was cool.
So we ended up knocking that guy out, and I said, well, maybe we got something going here. You know what I mean? And that's when I started talking. We had a local promoter that wasn't doing a really bang-up job there.
We thought we could do some improvements
in the area. So I kind of got with him, and we piggybacked 3 or 4 shows we put on when Clay was coming up in MMA.
And then we had to get a few
locally there.
We had to get Clay a few guys to beat up on, so we ended up getting a few more stable of fighters so that when we went to a show to kind of promoting Clay, we had a handful of amateur guys to kind of fill their cards.
Yeah, so
we helped.
I helped promote. I didn't actually ever have my promoter's license, but I was a big part of that. You know, we hustled tables and hustled tickets.
I was the timekeeper.
And I actually managed around 15 to 20 MMA fighters at one time. Wow. When Clay was coming up, I could give a promoter, 2 or 3 amateur fights and leverage, a little bit more, expenses and travels, and maybe a little bit more of a purse for Clay to kind of offset some of our expenses. But
we had fun.
We built some really awesome relationships with all the promoters there in Utah and Idaho and Wyoming, Colorado. We had a lot of fun.
We saved a lot of shows.
You guys have had quite the journey, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a ride for sure.
So we'll see what's up, and there might be more Colored Boys to come. There might be more Colored Boys to come.
Funny thing about it is it just keeps getting better and better. Yeah, Kesley. Kesley right now.
Okay, well, I'm probably gonna wrap it up soon, guys. But any message that you guys want to get out there about Clay Collar or maybe any of the other boys as well?
Well, keep your eye on Clay for sure. You'll see.
You guys cut out. You're freezing up on me. Hello? So I don't know what happened. I think maybe we lost signal. I'm not sure if it's me or them.
It's good though.
Hello?
I'm gonna come back.
Did we talk too much?
Hello? Are you guys there?
And anyways, keep your eye on Clay. He's going to be doing big things here in the next year or two. So
he's going to be boxing until they let him make fights. So let's keep boxing.
At this rate, one a month. We probably got about 5 more boxing matches.
I guarantee it. The check's big enough. Sign a new contract. Guaranteed.
Hold on. Yeah. The sound came out kind of weird. I think it's because it's echoing on your end. I don't know.
It's kind of.
I don't know what's going on right now. Hello? Okay, so I have no idea what's happening with Christian in Maryland at the moment, but hey, we're here on Tru School Sports making it do what it do. We had the college on there. Intangible Buck. We had college on there. Yeah. Intangible Buck. Hello? Yeah, I can hear myself on your guys' end. Like, can you guys put on like headphones or something? I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't know what's going on right now. Hello? Hello?
There we go.
There you go.
Hey.
Can you see us now?
Yeah, I can see you.
I don't want to close a couple things. Maybe that helps.
So if he fights in August, we'll have to pipe in and give you some comments on what we thought and how he did, okay?
Absolutely. Well, it was a pleasure having you guys.
Yeah, I'm sure we can pull Clay in on one of these two.
Yeah.
Let everybody get a few words into him. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you guys.
Thank you for having us. This was fun.
Thank you for all the kind words, Brandon. We appreciate it.
100%. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So that was Christian and Marilyn Collard, Clay Collard's parents. They both had reached out to me, so it was a pleasure to have them on. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned a little bit about Clay Collard. And we'll definitely be covering Clay in August, and as his career continues to progress in boxing, however long that may be. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Take time to subscribe. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys. Hold on 1 second.